time over, and they have had a little bit of a bout, a back and forth on Anubis. Our second map of the first semi-final today in ESL Challenger Jönköping. Monte, their pick, and starting CT.
Yeah, speaking of reps, Monte have played this map 30 times in the past 3 months, averaging it once every 3 days in terms of officials.
Yeah, it's a whole lot.
All right, well, let's see what this pistol round has in store for us. Monte were able to win both of the pistol rounds in the first map. Can they continue that form here into Anubis? Nothing untoward coming through from either team right now. Just asking some early questions in towards middle. A bit of utility for Virtus.pro. As for the CTs, it's armor across the board.
Yeah, it's a little strange that we have them postured up in a way like that, especially when we don't have players, circulating with dualies. That's become a very popular thing to have in places like Dark or as an A anchor. Monte just trying to take these long-range fights, but Virtus.pro playing very much that slow game.
Yeah, certainly become part of their identity, but we've seen them changed up a little bit throughout this adventure. Able to shift it up a gear or two when they need to, and that's exactly what they're going to do right now as they look to try and split their way in towards the A-bomb side. Demka's been phenomenal at locking it down, and he's actually going to find both those kills. Voro just watching players dropping before his very own eyes, and that's given a massive advantage now to Monte.
This is a challenge. No additional utility here remaining. Fame with the kill right back, but they cannot get additional ground. There are so many CTs here rotating in from spawn, but they're losing out on numbers. That bomb being dropped at the feet, it's all on James to keep his position and keep him tested.
Yeah, this isn't even about side control anymore. This is just about the gunfights themselves. They're not even thinking about the bomb plant. Fame and Flitz have 50 points of health between the two of them. Minus Flit from the equation. Fame looking to do his damnedest right now, but there's just no time left remaining, and SDY will make it 3 for 3 out of the pistol.
I mean, you look at that round, and you think it's a little half-baked there from Virtus.pro. Just the fact they tried to go for that A-side split, and they couldn't get ground. They got themselves out of camera, out of A main, and they just couldn't handle Demka with those opening 2 kills. It stopped the pace coming back into this bomb site, and by the time that James is sort of in a position where he could actually catch a player off, 1, he misses his shot. But then 2, there were 2 more players where that came from in heaven as well. So it was not going to be an easy claw back for VP.
Yeah, rotations were thick and fast out of Monte. Good read on the situation. And I guess the armor actually made a difference there because they were able to sustain all that bit of chip damage from the Glocks. Next to no investment coming through from the T side, no bomb plant, but an opening kill. So, I mean, that's nice.
I don't know how Norbert does it. Look how much damage he did to SDY through the smoke.
Is that a Glock?
Yeah.
Are my eyes deceiving me?
I need to know his training regime. He has honestly had such a glow up.
Yeah, config, sense, breakfast, how many hours of sleep he's getting.
Clothing brand of choice.
Yeah. He has looked really good here throughout this event. He's massively impressed me. And I mentioned in the previous map that Fame has struggled quite heavily so far here for Virtus.pro, but you haven't really noticed it so much because of how well Norbert's been playing.
Yeah, I mean, you want that 19-year-old superstar that helped you win the major last time. He was honestly so good. But, I mean, in a round where you came in only with Glocks, this is already a nice little small victory for Virtus.pro. Some damage done. There could have been a chance for them to do even more, but they got a bomb plant. They've got their hands on an MP9 as well, which, honestly, they could still use in that upcoming gun round.
Oh, my goodness. Look at how low 3 of the 4 remaining players were there for Monte.
Yeah.
As you say, a kill and a plant certainly going to be a victory in itself here for Virtus.pro heading into the next gun round. I mean, SMGs have become very popular in CS2 for good reason, good maneuverability, tough to contest. You go MP9 or MAC-10 T side. If you get to carry one.
I was gonna say, I don't even have that choice really. But
well, in this instance they did, and they choose neither.
I see. I would definitely go MAC-10.
Yeah, me too. Right?
Yeah.
Slightly cheaper as well. Which is, yeah, in shows it might be a bit worse, but I'm a MAC-10 fan. Either way.
For Demka though. Nice, them putting themselves in a 2-man position in at A main and hunting for that information. It can be so easy as an A anchor to sort of just run through utility, get a Molotov down, get a smoke in at the entrance, but you also want to have those resources later into a round, especially against a team like Virtus.pro who are fine with grinding down the clock.
Yeah, getting ground down by the nades though here as well. James has his AWP, that's certainly going to be a big factor. We didn't see much AWP action in the previous map. Oro was also pretty quiet by his standards. That was fine. wasn't really required as much. And we're going to be seeing a split in towards this B bomb side coming through. Flip the one to lead the charge. Will find the first trade. Comes through trade afterwards. But SDY is now the only player on the side of the map. He's found himself a second. That was the most he could have hoped for. And now it's going to be Monte into a retake.
SDY may have just saved Monte's hopes for this round. It does come down to the activation of a flank. Player pushing in from War's position and actually catching and finishing off the damage done on Tamir. It's Jame to deal with this one player inside of B main, because if he does, then that round just completely turns around. Jame finally has a solid post plan, and Fame as well can separate, holding a crossfire.
Yeah, he knows the attention's going to be on Jame towards B main, but Monte know it was only one player there, so they're trying to find Fame's position. Oh, he's going to be able to activate. He gets that first kill for free. Bro with an impossible job on his hands now, running out of time, and he's going to have to head for the hills. Virtus.pro get themselves on the board.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. You know, Flit getting his kill in towards Dark. That was something that we were bringing up on the desk as well. Krasnal is going to have a tough time dealing with Flit in that position. He is far more aggressive than any of the Monte players are in that spot. Flit is willing to take challenges by himself. And the fact that he's able to get this ground for the squad, you know, it does come down to the heroics of SDY for this round to even be mildly feasible for him.
Yeah, true. I think this kill here from Jame was absolutely instrumental as well. Just going back to that point on Flit, he just feels like one of those players who can do so much with so little. He doesn't need a huge amount of resources to get that space and that control. And that's so valuable for the team. You can kind of just rely on him to work by himself and accomplish a lot.
Yeah, he's got a lot of autonomy. You know, that's, I think, the big advantage of having a player like him. Krasnal, once again, worst end of the stick on the fight in towards Dark, but did have Bro alongside him, so even if he had fallen, likely to have been traded. But that may be the prompt for Virtus.pro to send it the other way.
Oh man, Demka with a massive job on his shoulders right now, going to drop the smoke flash combination. That smoke doesn't give him much cover, only going to be able to inflict some damage. Monte get locked out the bomb site. I don't even know if they're going to consider the retake here. It looks like they're going to call it a day, recognizing they don't have any residual cash, and VP level it up.
Yeah, it can be quite challenging if that mid-rotate isn't going to be there in time. You know, you typically want that player to be able to challenge from camera, you know, almost deploy some extra utilities to delay on that A hit, and Monte just feel they didn't have the position. Even holding onto these guns is going to be quite difficult. Flit is being such a nuisance and locking them in, and he's going to be asking for backups shortly, but he doesn't actually succeed in holding his ground.
Yeah, and I think that might be enough for VP to also just bunker down.
Yeah, they love their money more than they care about yours.
Yeah, fair enough, man. Their treasure looking pretty good. I do like the start of the round there from VP. Flit in towards Dark early on. He's got support from Jame. I don't know if Krasnal spotted Jame as well, but I think that's why Monte were leaning more in towards that B bomb site. And it was such a quick decision from Virtus.pro to flip the script to the opposite side of the map. Yeah. And as you say, Demka had no support as a result.
It can be very challenging. You know, I think Demka is actually one of those players that, you know, me and T-Time have had a little bit of a back and forth about his performance. You know, I think even last time we saw him on Anubis, you know, there was an angle that he was taking about Demka actually could be exploited. You know, him being on an island or being isolated, finding the right time to be aggressive. You know, these are a lot of questions to ask from a player that, you know, has been floating around the circuit for quite some time, but has never really had these sort of big chances, these big opportunities. For him, you know, this is the biggest and best team he's been a part of.
Yeah, so, for sure. I'm a really big fan of the way he plays the A bomb sites on Anubis. I think he's a phenomenal anchor. It's a really tough site to play as well, very often left to your own devices, and Monte entrusts him with a lot of responsibility. Quite diverse with the positions that he plays as well. I mean, on the Talking Counter podcast, Yanko actually mentioned that he thought he was Demka was a player that G2 could have considered to replace JKS.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main argument is always that he just feels like he was overlooked for a lot of reasons, so...
Well, here we go. It is going to be an eco for Monte. They have got the 3 guns that they carried through into this round, and Boral lets his AWP sing.
Nice trade. Flit winning his fight against Krasnal again. You know, Krasnal's had a very solid performance for Monte as of late. CS2 has really reinvigorated him. But when you're dealing with Flit, you know, he feels like he has also actively benefited. Already was a great Go player, but 2, he's also just swinging harder than he ever has before. They do start 3-on-4, and there's still so much time on this clock. VP are waiting for a mistake.
Oh man, I thought Bro would be in a bit of trouble there, but Angle actually ends up working out for him. Fame also caught in transition. Fame's had a very tough time. We saw that stat line that he is yet to wake up here in this semi-final. losing all 7 of his opening jewels on Ancient.
Yeah, it's not been the fame that we are used to. When expectations are set high, then there will be disappointment when you don't show up. See if Norbert and Mir can pull it together. Norbert has had a hell of a tournament, but this is also a situation where they do have enough money to buy if they both save. So there is an argument to be made there, and it feels like Virtus.pro are also fine to do that. But if they had a path carved out by Norbert, Mir with the bomb, trying to make his way into this B bomb site, they are not quite satisfied with simply saving. Mir catching a player dropping down. Demka, that may be a big mistake.
Brilliant double back coming through there, and he's able to get the AK out just in time. Mir clotheslines Bro as he tries to deny the plants. It's only the captain left remaining in the 1v1. Mir looking to recover the round from the death right now. Knows exactly where SDY is, but he can't finish off the job. And by the skin of their teeth, Monte win the round.
Jeez. I've Norbert dying so quickly and then Mir being thrust into a 1-on-4. You wouldn't have fancied his chances, but brought it oh so close. Had a great read, and all he needed really was to have sort of pushed forward, planted temple side, but how on earth are you going to make that call when you've got 10 seconds left and the whole map was basically exposed?
You've also just gone back and you've cleared canals by getting the player who's dropped off of the bridge, so probably thinking SDY, you know, the mid player, rotating through connector or background through spawn. I mean, ultimately though, that isn't, I mean, you can't really call that an eco round from the CT side having saved 3 guns, but they did save their money and they win the round as well. Yeah,
definitely challenges the economy here of Monte. Not a lot left in the reserves. That round would have gone swimmingly had they kept 4 alive, but Virtus.pro are setting up for what is a faster burst this time over, and Bro's already been dealt with.
Yeah, Krasnal only going to be good for the 1 kill, finishing off what Bro had started. That B bomb side completely compromised, and again, you could just be counted out of this one if you're Monte. No money left in the bank, as you mentioned. And if you lose these 3 weapons, it's a hard eco in the next. We already saw them win a round saving 3 guns, and that's going to be fresh in their memory.
And this will be one of the challenges. You know, they've been losing out on the fight with Flit in Dark so frequently. They're doubling up together to sort of guarantee a trade. You know, they're not expected to win that fight, but they are getting caught out now by this faster pace. They are contesting this retake, but there's just so much utility down. The bomb's already halfway ticked. Mir being elusive around those smokes, but his teammates have great position to actually stop them from getting on the defuse, and they will run away. 1 HP on SDY, but that will be it. A 3rd round here for Virtus.pro, and it's a nice change of pace on B.
Yeah, really nice change of pace coming through. Hammering home on that bomb side. It looks like they've kind of realized that Bro and Krasnal are doubling up in towards Dark as well, able to exploit that, focusing heavy on that part of the site and able to get the job done. Not a bad attempt at the retake from Monte. I respect the fact that they kind of felt it out as well.
Yeah, we see quite a few teams start like 2 mid, 2B, 1A, or sometimes you see like 3B, 1 mid, 1A. You know, it does depend on the setup that you go for out of spawn. But if you don't play 3B, a fast play like that from VP will catch you off guard.
And they're keeping up the pace. Yeah, straight in towards middle they go, but into the brick wall. That brick wall has a name, and that name is Moral. He wants more, phasing through the smoke. Should have reeled it in after the double.
Yeah, might have overstayed his welcome, and then some. See if James can do it the same. Orpers to Orpers, but it's rifles on rifles, really. James doing a lot of good work on causing interference. Seeing how much it's dragging the rotates, but SDY jumping above the smoke. James had no cover, had no support, and it really comes down to Fame just dealing damage. No success, but another 1v4, this time from the man of the tournament. The man of many talking points, but never checking his glyph. So it's a nice, clean round, all in all. You know, being able to get War-activated SDY as well, picking up the slack, and nobody else on Virtus.pro able to activate.
It feels like Monte are just doing a really good job of winning these key rounds. They're winning these rounds to make sure their economy never gets broken. Keeping Virtus.pro at bay, staving them off. Remember, Monte are leading the series 1-0 at the moment, guys, if you're just joining us. They were able to get across the line on Ancient, and fairly comprehensive victory there as well. 13-8 it was for Monte. And now this is their playing ground. This is their playing field. Anubis has been a very reliable map for them in the past 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, funnily enough, it's actually the map they lost last time they played against each other. You know, they won and stole away the Virtus.pro overpass in a previous series, and then lost their map pick in similar fashion, 13-8, like I think you said. So, yeah, it might be reliable. You know, it's definitely a map that I wasn't expecting a team like Monte to be so proficient at, especially at the start of their journey.
Yeah.
It felt like they were, honestly, one of the best teams in terms of consistency on the map, even though they played such a chaotic style once upon a time. That's no longer the case. You know, they have structure, they look good together, but it is, yeah, for them to be a sort of emergent team and sort of specializing in one of the newer maps in the pool was quite the surprise.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, man. It feels like they were one of the teams to figure out the CT side in particular of Anubis. SDY, you know, I don't know if he certainly innovated the plays in towards middle, but he was one of the pioneers in terms of how to play that position, you know, often taking up forward positions. Of course, Voro interchangeably swapping up with him as well. Either way, Virtus.pro settling for an eco. They've got a couple hero AKs here to work with as well. Can they find a way? Looks like the B bomb site's going to be their port of call right now. Flit's been able to get some control to work with, figures out Krasnal's position, but that's only the first piece of the puzzle.
How could you not be scared if you're Krasnal there? You know, you've lost that fight a number of times. You get caught out in the open like that. They did get information that both of them were over towards the glyph side platform on B, but it is a little bit more challenging now that those smokes are down. There's been a little lull in the action as well. So that information that they gained is now moot. They are set up for a split of some capacity. The fact that they've got some hovering Monte players with util primed is promising as well.
Yeah, they're very happy to play retake on the A bomb site on Monte. You can see that Demka plays far back in towards the bomb site, and they can stack up 3 players over towards B as a result. Voro, that is again overly overzealous, but it's okay because they have the numbers stacked up on the correct side of the map right now. Hero AK is doing work, but continues to get cut down. It's now only Norbert left remaining, time ticking away, as does his health, and Bro finishes off the job.
It is a little staggering that we're still getting the impact we want out of players like Flit, but the rest of the team are kind of struggling to actually bridge the gap or take the space that he's actually able to attain. The trades have been immaculate for Monte in terms of plugging up the gap as soon as it's exposed. And the fact that they hovered round in B for as long as they did, while Virtus.pro had simply cut sound, a very good read on the situation. SDY having a stellar game himself, 10-2 at the moment, also has been a big part of some of those B holds. But it was kind of mentioned on the desk, I think Alan was right, you know, they outcalled them on Ancient, and maybe here on Anubis as well, they can get in their heads a bit.
You get to sing your own praises now, Yumi, casting the second map. Yeah, the desk, they were really on
point.
Oh, yeah,
you know? I mean, they do a bang-up job.
All right, well, Virtus.pro have had a lot of broken buys in this first half so far. Normally a team who are so good at managing their economy. And if they lose this round, that trend's only going to continue, that they have to try and make do with less ideal weapons. Either way, Flit going to best Bro this occasion in towards Dark. We've seen this similar strategy before, where he pulls the attention in towards Dark, and then they exec A. They're taking contact though. Demka's molly is late. He had no idea how far forward they were, and now they're able to sprawl all over the side. Demka sent packing. SDY has no option but to head for the hills, and VP have made it work again.
That was excellent routing as well, moving into that A play. Norbert being able to bypass the initial sight line, and as soon as the util starts to sail out, him and Fame able to take the space. Really nice push into that A site. Monte kind of none the wiser about it. The B side has been more targeted in these sort of mid-round, late round situations. But now A getting a little bit of exposure. Not sure that Krasnal is going to be able to save here. Sure, Virtus.pro do like keeping their money good, but you know what feels better than buying your own AWP? Taking one off of your opponent.
Yeah, that's true, man. And then fragging him with it in the next round as well.
Yeah, game is excited at the prospect, I'm sure.
All right, well, Mia will palm that across to him. ESL Challenger Jönköping semi-final #1. A lot of people had this booked as the grand final.
It probably could. I mean, it probably should have been. But considering MIBR looked so devastating in their group and, you know, outclassed Virtus.pro, had won rounds that they probably shouldn't have in that one best of one. you know, that is unfortunately how the cookie crumbles. I think people were a little disappointed to see Virtus.pro in the lower bracket because it harmed their chances of making it out of the group suddenly.
Yeah. Second semi-final going to be coming up after this. Eternal Fire versus MIBR, of course, goes without saying. Winner of that plays winner of this in the grand final later today for a spot at ESL Pro League Season 19. Winner of the event takes home a cool 50K as well.
It is a nice amount of money.
Yeah.
Also, just getting more LAN experience for a lot of these players, that is a big part of the journey that you have to take as a player on the prospect.
Keep in mind, Monte haven't won a LAN event yet.
No, I know. Yeah, it's quite surprising, but that's where we have to have the conversation about SDY and whether he can have some impact. A 5-7 is all he'll have, but it's actually Waro that takes and stands his ground on that A play. There are a fair amount of smokes down here for Virtus.pro that can segment off Monte on this retake attempt, but they have a kit on Krasnal, so this is feasible that they could go for this.
Yeah, he's very far away, though. He was waiting for some sort of a lurk to come through, a lurk that just doesn't exist, and Jame will get a kill. Might disparage Monte. Looks like they're still going to feel this one out. Needs the trade. It will come through. Voro only going to be good for the one, though, in that situation, and that will indeed send Monte packing. So Virtus.pro was a slightly slow start to them coming into this T side, but they've certainly recovered the half.
Yeah, and some of the problems will be that Demka is sometimes struggling to get his impact on that A play. You know, we've seen now a couple of rounds where Virtus.pro have just hammered into the A bomb site, where B has actually been more of a struggle in terms of gaining space. You know, Flit is winning his duel, but they're actually not breaching the bomb site properly. There have been quite a few threatening rounds, and you know, you'll maybe reflect back on some of those, the sort of anti-force buy or the 1-on-4 against Mir and think, you know, that could have been another gun round that they could have had as buffer moving forward into this half, but now Money's in a very peculiar spot for them.
Coach is getting an opportunity to relay some thoughts here. I mean, CT side Anubis is always a challenging half. You look at the statistics for Monte, having played the map 30 times in the past 3 months. They actually sport an impressive 52% win rate on their CT side.
It does help when you play as many reps on Anubis, where some teams maybe don't. You know, maybe that's why they have such success on their CT sides. But I do think this Monte team has just continued to grow. I love that for them. You know, the idea that we had players that didn't have the same opportunities, sometimes were removed from teams for X and Y reasons, and kind of use this as a proving ground. You know, Krasnal kicked from a Polish squad, SDY removed from Na'Vi. You know, to have these chances and to sort of be looked down upon, you know, for them to have reignited the flame, and you know, they find themselves in a better ranking position theoretically than Na'Vi themselves or the Polish teams that Krasnal somehow left behind. So.
Yeah, well, no better motivation than trying to prove people wrong, right?
Absolutely.
And I agree with you. The fact that they've done it without, you know, crazy name value, haven't signed any really big players. In fact, Boros was the one who departed the roster, and everyone thought, okay, well, there goes Monte. They'll slip away into irrelevancy, but absolutely not the case. Should be slipping away into the background of this particular round, though. They've got a couple rifles to work with. They are kind of leaning in towards the correct side of the map right now. Let's see, utility going to start to rain in here. Keep in mind that Jame had more flash assists than the entirety of Monte combined in the previous map alone.
Hey, they didn't win that map. Maybe someone else needs to throw those flashes. SDY did come into this round with an M4, but Fame and Mir are actually able to combine those two players that have been slightly sleepy, but Waro cannot slip through with a secondary kill. Smoke it's in that camera. Bro will be able to creep on past it, but Virtus.pro are pumping the brakes, and this is a little concerning. You know, 30 seconds on that clock, and there are options available, sure, but where on earth are they? Okay, yeah, there needed to be some urgency to break through, and there will be a lot of steps made by the whole of this VP roster.
Yeah, but it's okay. They've been able to get into the vacant bomb site, no resistance at all. But with the AWP on point, we'll finish off the rotating Krasnal, and Well, bro knows next round is the last of the half, so he might as well have a crack. Just to correct that point, sorry, Jame had the same amount of flashes as the entirety of Monte combined at 5 flash assists on Ancient. Man, on the T side, he throws an average of 1.92 flashes per round. He's just like the utility god on Virtus.pro.
I'm almost surprised he doesn't ask other players to drop him flashes so he could do some more.
Yeah, maybe averaging more than 2 flashes around, more than you can physically carry at any given time.
Jame is quite the stat fiend, you know.
Yeah.
Pretty deathless dude. You know, there was even a period of time where you wouldn't see him without an AWP. Like, him giving the AWP over to Flit, that would have been egregious. How dare you ask for my weapon? The man has grown. You know, he has great clutching potential. His rifling has improved. It feels like he's willing to sacrifice more than he ever did in some of the earlier years of this Virtus.pro roster with Jame. It felt like he almost didn't have the same belief in his teammates. Yeah. But now he's surrounded by theoretical superstars. You know, I mean, if Norbert is your third best player at this event and you've got Fame and Mir, you're usually having a good time.
Yeah, that should be a great reflection of results to come, but maybe an indictment of the fact that Mir and Fame have been struggling as well.
Also true. Well, last round of the half, Virtus.pro with a minor advantage, but Monte are hoping to clamber back. They started this half quite well. Stopped a lot of these B-side plays, but the flash is perfect. Krasnal once again overwhelmed towards Dark, and they're looking to really push the limits onto this B-bomb site. Norbert just cheating straight through that smoke. Yeah, off the back of the flash frag there, they will start to push in towards the site. Last round of the half looking really good for Virtus.pro to carry a lead, a 2-round buffer into their CT side. Feels very important considering the fact that we're on Anubis right now. Fame's gotten into the backlines. He's going to catch Demko off guard. Really no resistance at all. SDY, it's the last of the half, so you're going to have a crack at this one. No kit, no utility, and no chance. A 1-on-5 for the man that is definitely the highlight for Monte. An in-game leader, a superstar. I don't know what more you want from him. A 1v5? That would be something, but not to be. Mir will put it out. It is a 7th round for Virtus.pro, but we'll see how things pan out in that second half after a break.
That's ain't no feeling. Don't know what's right or wrong. Searching for meaning. I've been thinking about it way too long. So whatever you long for, don't give up along the way. Don't give up along the way. You know, and cherish the moment. Come on up and just let go. Come on up and just let go.
All right, we are back, and we're going to get into the second half of the second map. Virtus.pro able to save the day there on their T side. They go up 7-5 into their CT side. Yumi, is that enough?
A must-win scenario for Virtus.pro. They already trail a map coming into this series, unable to pull things together on Ancient, their own pick in the series. So I'd like to think that this advantage that they have is enough, but a pistol round is a good place to start. Monte have not always had the greatest conversions on it, but listen, Virtus.pro already on that back burner. They need to be able to find that extra level of form across their players. Let's see whether they can bridge that gap quickly, or whether we have to think about this ending on Anubis.
All right, well, big exit coming in towards the stay bomb side right now. Fame is the one with the Julies, and he's going to be able to save them off. Great double kill coming through from him. However, trades are effective, and with that, it is going to be a bomb plant, and the player into mid, Voro, has been caught off by the lurking James. That gives a man advantage for the CT side. No kit in place, so time is of the essence. But as I say, they've got a player in the surplus right now, which certainly will bode well for their cause. Looking to try and get into the site itself. They're struggling to cross the choke points right now. SDY left alone out in the open, and James will finish off the job.
James just looks like an absolute ninja. You know, not only being able to smoothly put himself through B main, find this flank on War just as the bomb went down. You know, found that man advantage so early on that the kit basically wasn't even really a factor. And then as well, just creeping out from camera while Norbert's dragging attention. James was the unseen one in this round.
It did seem like he baited Flit slightly there, but there's a lot of negative connotations around baiting. Baiting's fine so long as you end up winning the round.
Yeah, no, of course. Also, it's even nicer when they don't die when they're being baited. You know, I can leave that piece of meat hanging out there, but I maybe want to put that in a sandwich later.
Yeah, you don't hang it out to dry, man.
Exactly.
All right, well, good way for Virtus.pro to start off the second half. It's their first pistol round win in the series so far. Monte, of course, do get the bomb plant, though, so they'll have a decent arsenal of weaponry coming into the force buy.
Always one of the positives of, having that bomb plant. You can just have a more significant buy than your opponent, but you have to take a couple of compromises to facilitate and get some utility on your belt. SDY does seem to be the one to do it for the squad, in-game leader. Happy to take that compromise, and he's undergoing a little bit of siege over towards Fame. Mir's trying his best to get a handle back on things, but his teammate is segmented off, and Demko will find the entry they need to breach into this bomb site.
Yeah, Monte really forcing the issue, not content with side control itself. They want to try and make sure there's no way for Virtus.pro back in. Norbert phasing through the smoke, gets a kill and then falls back. Bro, he's the one on the flank right now. James knows that, but he can't relay the information through quickly enough, and that means Bro's able to find a kill as a result. It's still a 3 versus 3 though. Retake very much alive. Again, no kit though, but it's all on James creeping through in the back lines. This is a massive exchange coming through between the two IGLs. James comes out on top. It's all on Voro. Awful position to try and clutch, and he hasn't got it in him.
That's gotta really feel bad if you're Monte. Felt like there was the isolated 1v1 there for SDY. Players coming through smoke as well, just as they're, trying to get more space on the A play. Those were kills that certainly could have swung Monte's way, and we could have been talking about them overturning after the pistol, but Virtus.pro get the better end of it. That can just be sometimes how these games go. It has definitely been a little back and forth, at least at the start of this game, but now Virtus.pro are on quite the streak.
Yeah, that's true. Looking back at the game so far, Monte were leading 5-3 at one point, and they have not won a round since then. 6 in a row coming through for Virtus.pro. Monte get the plants in that previous round, they lose. They've decided to go all in here once again, but this game is slipping through their fingers.
Yeah, and also if you continue to buy like this, even though you're getting more money technically by still having an additional loss bonus, it does feel like you're sort of missing out on some of the lethality of having, War on an AWP, or, being able to get players like Krasnal, AKs, because these guys do pop heads. They're having to make do with the rifle you wouldn't necessarily always choose.
All right, well, looks like it's going to be the same port of call here once again for Monte, as was the case in the pistol and the follow-up round thereafter, clearing out the smoke with a nade. That is going to commence the exec. Fame is able to stand tall, not just a kill, but a lot of damage finished off there by Mia onto Bro as well. SDY's lurk is not effective at all, and finally it looks like Monte, not only will they be denied entry into the site, it doesn't even look like they're going to get a kill here in the round.
What a turnaround from Fame. A player that certainly felt like he went missing on Ancient, but now as well leading the charge for the Virtus.pro side as the A anchor in that position as well, just being able to get his one kill, sort of divert attention away from Mir. You know, that's the kind of thing that you want to see out of your A anchor, just never overexposing themselves and just really forcing themselves into favorable fights. If there's not going to be that same Molotov smoke combo that they've been throwing continuously on that A side, then Fame can very comfortably fight from bricks like that.
Yeah, he's been doing a good job. Good balance between maintaining some sort of semblance of control, but not overcommitting and buying time for the rotations as well. Now Monte will blink. They'll settle for the half buy, and there's a lot more pace coming into this round from them.
Opening kill for Flit. He is a key man on this map. Dark is very frequently a sort of star-laid position on Anubis. No better man than Flit to really deal with it. I guess maybe if we're talking donk, then I'll take that too. That man has my heart.
Yeah.
Virtus.pro have my brain, though. I feel like they have really tightened things up, going this now here for a double push, but SDY reads into it, actually checking for that flank.
Yeah, really nice shot there with the Tech 9 at range. Don't know how much that's going to amount into, though, and James continues to make moves. He's been very versatile on the CT side so far. Lines them up and knocks them down. Double kill, both headshots. And with that, immediately just pulls the rug right out from underneath Monte.
I mean, 2 bullets, 2 headshots. You know, it's not through each other. They did happen to line up, but James is extremely happy with that, I'm sure. Did spot that bomb, and now actually trying to catch them just as they bridge the gap. Flit is in position and does have support coming his way over onto this site, but 20 seconds and a fresh smoke, that will be hard to deal with.
Oh, he's actually going to play around the smoke here right now as well, but he's got Mir in support, so there's no way for Monte to actually get their way through here. Sure, it's a 1v2 for Bro, but with the time left on the clock, this is just mission impossible, and he ain't no Tom Cruise. Flit will eventually emerge from the smoke, finish off the job, and that's now, what, an 8th round in a row now?
Yep. Yeah, the Virtus.pro guys have not been able to slow down since they found a little bit of extra life in that first half. A considerable uptick in their performance, and this can be one of the things with having a little bit of a rivalry between these two squads. You know, both map pools being similar the last time they faced off against each other. You know, we have very similar maps for 2 and 3. Ancient was the anomaly coming into this, and yeah, maybe a little bit of a surprise, but there are a lot of lessons you can learn from your previous outings versus these guys. And at the moment, it feels like VP have learned the better lessons.
Just reflecting the point you made there as well, quite an overlapping map pool between these two teams. They've both played it 11 times in the past month. And they've both traded it once either way.
Yeah.
Played twice between them, and they've both won it on one occasion each. Who will get across the line this time round? It's do or die for Monte coming into this next round here, man. Lose this with no bomb plot. 12-5 almost certainly becomes 13-5 straight afterwards.
It'll feel like they miss an opportunity if they allow this map to sort of fall away from them. Anubis, such a good piece of home ground territory for them typically. This would be quite the heartbreak. They'd have to set their sights on Mirage, but VP still need 2 more rounds. James did start this round very, very low HP. Got spammed down to 13, and that AWP can still be proficient. But it does feel like we've had a lot of sort of A-targeted plays throughout this Anubis.
Yeah. I think it's also just because, you know, both teams play a very detached setup in towards A. So Monte are thinking, okay, we know we get a lot of space and control on that side of the map. They're going to be taking A main control here as well, looking to try and deprive Virtus.pro of information. But VP, this is fine. They don't mind this. They're playing for the retake on A anyway, heavily leaning in towards the opposite side of the map. And now it's decision-making time for Monte. Where do they go from here? A good amount of control at their disposal. If they can cut down Mir in middle and really isolate that A bomb site, that would bode so well for their cause, and SDY does exactly that. But the trade comes through straight afterwards.
Yeah, the audio baited SDY out. There was only one player in Fame being able to get himself a secondary kill. There is a bit of space being gained here by Monte. A post plant on A can happen. But there's utility available here for Virtus.pro. They could still challenge for this. Norbert has made his mark already, still clearing things out close so that his teammate can move out from without worry from camera. The smoke here from Fame does fall, so bro, that double kill may have just sealed it.
Yeah, wonderful double kill. Flit not even going to attempt the clutch, and Monte have kept themselves alive by the skin of their teeth. They will continue to do work here, finally breaking that streak. Virtus.pro win 8 rounds in a row and really run away with the map, but Monte make sure that they're still in contention.
Yeah, now it finally stops. An A play, a lot of it activated because of SDY's presence inside of middle. But as soon as Fame got those 2 kills, I really did think like the round was going to take a turn for the worse there for Monte, you know, hoping that they can still show us good form here in the second map.
I wonder if there's a case of Monte trying to target Fame because they know that he's had a bit of a rough event so far.
That definitely could be a real possibility. You know, you don't want to... I guess you wouldn't really frame it in that way for these guys. You know, for them it's, oh, there seems to be a vulnerability on this A-bomb site because he can't shoot. But, I mean, at the moment he's doing an exceptional job. So maybe we start to see them lean to the other bomb site soon.
Yeah, looks like it might be happening right here, right now. Jame on the angle, being tested. It is the best performance we've seen so far on a map from Fame at this event, if I'm not mistaken. Currently a 2-kill death ratio coming through from him. This is a make or break round for both of these teams, a swing round if you will. Loser's going to be forced into an eco in the round after this, have their economy reset.
Success for Virtus.pro seems to only really come in threes. Not seeing the same pop-offs from players like Norbert or Jame, but they have had their influence, that is for sure. Monte have got quite a lot of control and do have themselves set up for what is a bursting play. This would be a fairly vacant site for them to hit into.
Yeah, Virtus.pro have gone for a bit of a gamble here, stacked their players up on the opposite side of the map, but they're not sitting...
pushed it.
Yeah, they're not sitting by idly on that side waiting. They're starting to make moves right now. They've got a very good idea of what's going on. Fame looks to close the door in on Monte. Krasnal now knows they have Canel's control. That means we have to activate right now. The longer they take, the further those flanks are going to get around, and the more difficult it will be to lock down the post plant.
Could end up completely boxed in here if they don't move quick enough. VP trying to act in service containment, but the smokes that are down will provide a little bit of coverage. But now finally these kills just start to flurry in for Virtus.pro, finding that flanking player, but just cannot lock him down. 12 seconds. Demq has to get his hands on that bomb and find his way out of this situation, but James surviving and Norbert putting him to rest. A 12th round here for Virtus.pro. Sure, they lost their streak, but they're right back in with another.
Oh, that's devastating for Monte, man. It felt like their hand was forced there. They didn't really get to exec on their own terms and set up everything that they wanted to before they committed into the B bomb site. I love the way that Virtus.pro just completely disrupt their setup, and that just works so well for them. They're up to 12, and that gives them 6 map points.
Yeah, it's so incredibly difficult for them to make the call to just simply go for the B side hit when they have no confirmation on numbers. Then suddenly they find out that the flank is coming. So yeah, they were kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. One was actually sort of an illusory rock. You know, it didn't actually have any solidness to it.
Yeah.
But that added fear definitely prompts Monte to make the just wasn't the call they wanted to go with.
Yeah, Virtus.pro, they're known to go for their gamble stacks. I mean, that is certainly, you know, part of their identity, part of their approach. As I said, playing for that information, making sure they didn't just sit by idly on A and stack there, hoping they came in that direction from Monte's perspective. Got a very good idea of what was going on.
I think as well, good understanding here from Virtus.pro, and some of this will lead into the fact that they've played these guys on this map before, but very much sort of pack-focused are Monte. You know, it's not spreading out on these defaults for extended periods of time. You'll sometimes see VP actually play that way until they've lost a couple of players, and sort of in the mid-rounding, that's when they'll sort of group themselves up.
Yeah.
But Monte, because they don't cast a wide net at the start of rounds, and especially in those later round situations, yeah, that's actually a big vulnerability and a big opportunity for Virtus.pro to exploit on their T side.
Yeah, lots of space being left across the board there to be taken up, and Virtus.pro just happily obliged.
But it's as well, you know, if they got caught on the A main push, they would have said, oh, well, they're probably postured up for an A side attack.
Yeah, true. Just needed one player to be posted on the angle there to make sure they didn't get all that real estate. Either way, 12-6, tech pause concluded, and back into the game we go. The buy is okay for Monte. I mean, couple Galils and Mac 10 in the mix. They have enough utility to piece this one together, but they need to win 6 consecutive rounds to force us into overtime. They've won 6 out of 18, Yumi. How do they win 6 in a row?
Yeah, I can't. I have no answers for you. I have no answers. Maybe Krasnol can create some space for the rest of the squad. Certainly hoping that would be the case, but Fame once again, this time on the platform, and this time feasting. Jame actually contributing and finding that kill before Fame could get himself the double. But now it's just all about containment. They already have the space they want even before this bomb has been planted. Norbert and Extra and VP are just a couple steps away from taking this map.
Yeah, 2 kills. That's what they need right now, and Flit will lock in one of them. It's now all on Demka to try and keep Monte alive. About to be suffocated out of the round, and with that, the map as well. They know where he is. He's able to find the frag on the first. He baits up the shot from James Demka.
Oh, dear.
Okay, I see you, man. Great double kill coming through from him. In fact, he's got 4 in the round. Surely not going to be the ace from Demka to save the day here for Monte. Flit quaking, quivering, taking his time, swings out, and he will deny Demka the ace. And with that, Virtus.pro win the second map.
They clamor back on Anubis after a surprise finish on that first map in Ancient. A surprising finish, that's for sure. Monte did not look as comfortable as we've seen them on Anubis in the past.